Hey everybody! Okay, so today on Bella Renovare, we are going to be making over this hutch. Here's the top. It's pretty big if you can't tell. And then here's the bottom, and it actually is a secretary desk for the bottom. We're gonna be making this over. It's for a friend, a male friend, and he wants to keep it masculine. So I'm gonna show you how to make over furniture and still keep it masculine. I just wanna show you how you can redo furniture and still keep it simple and masculine. So stay tuned and we will get started. Okay, so before we get started, I want to give you a closer look. This is the top, and what I had to do is put quite a few pieces of the trim back together. We are going to patch some of the holes. There are, if you can see right back there, there are shelves for the inside of here. And this part is a secretary desk. And so these pull out right here, okay? And then this folds down, and there you go, you have a secretary desk. So we'll be doing the inside of that as well. So if you look right here, we've got a missing keyhole. These are wooden. So we've got a missing keyhole, we've got one that's broken. So we're gonna pull those off and we're gonna fix that. We're going to fix any holes that there are, and then we are going to make this more of a masculine makeover. The first step is to clean this piece really well with Dixie Belle's White Lightning. So I want to get all of the old dust, grime, all that stuff off before I patch anything or remove anything. I want to make sure this piece is nice and clean. So that's going to be my first step. Okay, so this piece has been cleaned, and before we start plugging up holes, I had talked to my friend. Instead of replacing these, we're actually going to remove them. We're going to plug the holes, and we are going to put some more masculine hardware. We're going to do some half moon pulls, and then for down here, we're going to do some knobs. I am going to change this color to match these, then change the color of this knobs to match this. But the next step is going to be for me to remove these wooden keyhole covers and also to plug all the holes with Dixie Mud. Okay, so you're probably wondering, how in the world is she going to fill these holes? So I have wooden dowels, and what I'm gonna do is I'm going to take these wooden dowels and I'm gonna cut them to fit these recessed holes right here. We're going to put the wooden dowel in there and glue it, and then I'm going to fill the rest of it with a wood filler. So we're gonna use wood to fill as much of the holes we can, and then we're gonna use a wood filler to fill the rest. That's the proper way to do it. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do with this dowel is I'm going to put this in here, and I'm actually going to mark where it needs to be cut, and that way I know that that is going to cover that hole or cover most of that hole, and then we're going to put our filler in. The next step is to clamp it down, and if you don't have a saw or something like that, you can get a hand saw, and you can just hand saw this. You can get this at a local hardware store. And you're gonna clamp it down, but you're also gonna wanna put your hand on it, maybe closer, and then just saw that part off that you need. So once you've cut this dowel, this piece of wood, you're going to want to glue it. So you're gonna glue it in there. And then you're actually going to want to fill this up with as much glue as you possibly can. Now that this is dry, so the glue and everything's dry and it's in there nice and sturdy, I am going to be using Dixie Mud in brown, and this is not stainable. So they have brown, black, and white, and I'm going to use brown just because it's the closest to the wood, although any of them would work because I'm going to paint over it anyways. But I'm going to use this. This is the mud spatula. You can use your fingers to put it on smaller areas. I'm going to use the mud spatula to put it on smoothly. Now, I like to do thin coats, so I am going to just put this on like this, fill it up, put it on, and I'm gonna leave that. And I'm gonna allow that to dry. I'm gonna come back and assess it. I can already tell it's gonna need another coat. These are just very deep holes, so you wanna make sure that you do it properly. So you don't wanna slop a bunch of this on here. Like I said, I like to do thin coats. Thin coats, let it dry, sand it, do another coat, let it dry, sand it. And that's the proper way to fill any of your holes, whether they be small or large, is to kind of just go over them and smooth them out, just like this. And then again, once it dries, sand it, and then put another thin coat, let it dry, sand it, and then assess if you need more. I have filled all of the holes with our Dixie Mud, but we have another issue. So right here, the trim, if you can't see, right here, the trim is actually broken, and I have the piece right here, but the other side doesn't have trim at all. So even if I wanted to replace it, I don't have it. This side is really good, but if you can see that there's a trim right here, so I'm actually going to take a mold that is made by Redesign with Prima, and I think I'm going to use either this one or this one. This mold is called Regal Trimmings, and I'm going to use some casting resin, and I am going to just I'm gonna remove this, clean this part up, and make a whole new mold going around the entire area. Okay, so remember I said that we were going to make molds to go around that trim part that was broken. So this is the mold that we're going to use. I will be using Amazing Casting Resin. So Amazing Casting Resin comes with these little tiny measuring cups. And if you're going to be making a bunch of things, then you would want bigger cups. I've got these ones. I've got these cups that already have the measurements on them, but I'm not going to be using these ones. Because I'm literally going to have to make one piece of trim at a time, I am going to use these small little cups. I'm going to clean them out each time so that I can reuse them. There are two separate bottles. What you're going to do is mix equal parts of both of these, mix them together, and then pour your mold. We're going to fill this one up to 5 milliliters, then we're going to use the other one and fill it up to 10 milliliters, and we're going to mix it. Okay, so there's 5 milliliters in here. And I'm gonna hold it up so I can make sure that it gets into 10 milliliters. 10 milliliters. Now we're gonna mix it, and you're going to actually see it turn when we mix it. If it turns cloudy like this, that means that you have a good mixture.
That means you have a good mixture. So now I'm going to pour it into the mold. I don't need anything else. You don't want to over pour this though. So I'm just going to okay, now you need to let it just sit. It's going to turn white, so let it sit for about 10 minutes, and then once it turns white, you can pull it out.
Once it's sat here for about 10 minutes or so, you're going to want to pop this out. And if you can see, it is flexible right now, right? But the longer it hardens, the less flexible it gets. So if you want this to go around corners, you need to do it pretty much right after you take it out. Because if you can see, it's flexible, flexible, flexible. But this one is not quite as flexible because it's starting to harden. So I'm gonna put this around a corner. I'm gonna show you how I do it. So I have Quick and Thick, Type Bond Quick and Thick, or you can use wood glue. I like Quick and Thick because this is not wood, so this is multi-surface. I'm going to take my glue, and I'm going to put it along this area. And because I know this is gonna go around the corner, I'm gonna go ahead and add it right there. Now, I'm gonna take it, push it up, hold it, and then I'm going to push it around this corner, and I'm gonna hold it with my fingers just for a second. I'm gonna take a rag, wipe off all the excess glue. Let's put this. And hold this down. Let me get all this excess glue off. And when it goes around corners, I tape it. So I'm gonna push it down and tape it to that wood and hold it in place until that sets. I'm gonna do it on the same. So I'm pushing it down. Make sure you get all your excess glue. And I'm pushing down on the mold and then sticking it to the wood. Now, when it's going around a corner, what I like to do is I like to take my tape and I like to add it like this and then push it up. That holds it in place even more.
I wish I was above the center of attention, but I'm not. I wish I didn't have to give in to the pressure. I'm posting pictures, trying to be someone I'm not. It feels just like I'm lying to you. I fake it, stage it, trying to live some perfect life. I know I'm wasting time, 'cause I just wanna call my friends and see what they're doing tonight. It doesn't have to be so special. I try to be myself, you do the same and we'll be alright. 'Cause this pressure's really bringing me down. I wish I had the guts to start a conversation with someone. Just be who I am, not care so much about first impressions. So, 'cause I got a feeling that it could be great. Skip all the acts, stop playing games. Maybe reveal it, they ring me and tell you my name. Yeah, I got a feeling that it could be great. Skip all the acts, stop playing games. No more concealing, they ring me, I won't be ashamed. 'Cause I just wanna call my friends and see what they're doing tonight. It doesn't have to be so special. I try to be myself. center of attention, but I'm not. I wish I didn't have to give in to the pressure. Oh, 'cause I just wanna call my friends and see what they're doing tonight. It doesn't have to be so special.
So this piece is painted, and before I go any further and do some final touch-ups, I want to actually put this vintage cigar box transfer on this side of the secretary desk. I think it will add just a nice little pop of even more of a masculine look inside of here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to put it on here, cut it to fit it, all that good stuff. Obviously we're gonna seal it. It needs to be sealed, especially one, transfers always need to be sealed, and two, if somebody's gonna use this as an actual desk. So I'm going to put this transfer on here and kind of cut and paste and do all that good stuff, and hopefully it'll look awesome.
I've been dreaming all night, bringing me some inspiration. Never meant to love no one, but baby, I saw you for a second and I'm happy that you came my way. Don't wanna waste no time without you ever brightening up my days. Never meant to fall so hard. Right, every glimpse of you deserts me. You're all I think about sometimes. But baby, I saw you for a second and I'm happy that you came my way. Don't wanna waste no time without you ever brightening up my days. Never meant to fall so hard.
Okay, so I want to kind of show you guys this. What I have done is I sealed this side and I left this side unsealed. So what I did is I painted one coat and I went through and I distressed it. And what I did also is I went through and I distressed some areas a little bit more. So that way it almost looked like a wash. So when you see pictures and stuff, there's going to be areas like right here and on the panels that actually almost look like I did a color wash on it, but I didn't. I did one coat of coffee bean and then I went through and I actually distressed and sanded even more so that I could pull some of that color out. I felt like it gave it more of a masculine look. So it is a dark color, and sometimes what people do is they'll tint their gator hide with the paint, and that's what they'll seal it with. But this is an old piece that came from New England, and so I wanted to not only seal it nicely and have a really nice rich look, but I also wanted to rejuvenate the wood that was underneath. So I used Big Mama's Butte in Orange Grove, and I did it over on this side, and I wanted to show you the difference. So you can see that it's really nice. It's got a nice satin look. Then this right here, obviously I sanded a little bit, but this side right here, it doesn't have a rich look to it. So although you don't need to seal Dixie Belle's paint, when you do seal it with whatever you seal it, it just richens the wood. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna apply my Orange Grove Big Mama's Butte all over on this side. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna apply it liberally. Then you're going to right away take all of the excess off with a lint-free rag, and then I allow it to sit for a few minutes, and then I go through with another clean lint-free rag and I kind of buff it in, and that will give you that nice look right here, and you won't have all that excess oil all over the place. So that's what we're gonna do next, is I'm gonna apply this all over this side. This piece is huge, guys. I don't know if you can see that. Look at this. That is like touching my ceiling almost. It is huge, huge, huge. I have hand painted this entire piece and then hand sealed this entire piece. It's huge, but I love it. It's gonna look really, really awesome. So I'm gonna seal this, and like I said, you just do a coat of Big Mama's butter, take a lint-free rag, wipe the excess off, wait 5-10 minutes, whatever you wanna do, let it soak in a little bit, and then wipe off the excess. You don't need to go back and buff this if you don't want to. You can go back and buff it later on, but you don't need to. It's not necessary. This deodorizes, makes it smell good. My house smells like oranges right now. So let's get started.
I thought that we had something special. I thought I handled this so well. I know we had the right intentions, but somehow it came to an end. I was looking for a remedy. Now I better who's in front of me. I was looking for a remedy. Now I better who's in front of me. Yeah. Push you back, hold you close, start a fight, there you go. I get unstable, in my bed all alone. Never know when you home. I get unstable, Remember the first time I met you, the way that it had made me feel. But later something changed between us, and now I don't know where we meet. I was looking for a remedy. Now I better who's in front of me. I was looking for a remedy. Now I better who's in front of me. Yeah. Push you back, hold you close, start a fight, there you go. I get unstable, in my bed all alone. Never know when you home. I get unstable, I get unstable. I push you back, I hold you close. Push you back, hold you close, start a fight, there you go. I get unstable, in my bed all alone. Never know when you home. I get unstable.
Okay, everybody, so as you can see, this piece is done. I hand painted this entire piece with coffee bean, and then I hand sealed it with Big Mama's butter in Orange Grove. So it was a huge piece. I'm sure I'm crazy for hand painting it. I'm sure someone could have said, why didn't you spray it? But whatever, it's done. I love it. That's a really good way to seal your darker paints. So if you guys are not subscribed, make sure you're hitting the subscribe button and then hit that bell and you'll get all the latest videos from me. Everything I use on this piece or used on this piece is in the description below. So until next time, I'll see you guys later. Happy creating.